Hi, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 8th of May 2021, and as promised, I have watched this latest FLCCC video update last night, and I thought I'd just talk briefly about some of my takeaways from this. And essentially what they were saying here was they're all still struggling to get the drug that starts with the letter I kind of accepted widely, although in some of these countries like the Philippines, Zimbabwe, South Africa, they are at liberty to use that drug, but they're still facing something of a struggle. This lady here in Zimbabwe, first of all, she was actually arrested at one point and investigated by the police narcotics team for using the drug that starts with the letter I, which seems absolutely unbelievable. But that was some months ago, I think, before it became more accepted there. But she kind of really hit the nail on the head really well, and she was saying that if the drug that starts with the letter I becomes widely used and it's proven to be effective, they would then have to force the big V companies to finish their trials, which won't be completed until early 2023, and the rollout of those would have to be put on hold until then, which of course these big pharma companies have spent billions on developing them and rolling them out, so that's not likely to happen. So of course they're going to do anything to suppress the kind of widespread use of the drug that starts with the letter I. So that very much hits the problem on the head and kind of explains why we're sort of facing this problem, even though there's so many studies out there now that show that the drug that starts with the letter I is highly effective indeed. It's interesting though, they were talking about some workarounds. There was a state in Paraguay, for instance, that I think the governor of this particular state, he actually got COVID, and because he was treated with Ivermectin, and he was really impressed. But in order to get around the laws there, what they did is actually ran a deworming program for the population. They must get tapeworms quite a lot in that part of the world, so they ran this deworming program, and they said just within a few weeks the hospitals were emptied. So that was quite an interesting workaround that was used there. Yeah, so that was really the biggest takeaways that I got from this. And it's very much, although they are making headway, there is still, because of that reason I highlighted a couple of minutes ago, very much still facing an uphill struggle, which is totally wrong and immoral as far as I'm concerned, but that seems to be the world we live in. So let's move on to this. Is another very recent FLCCC video that was literally released just again yesterday, alongside the other one. The other one might have been released on the 6th actually, so this is an even more recent video, and just talking about the benefits like Ivermectin again and various other treatments. I found this guy here particularly interesting. He's got this very, very accurate test to tell you if you've got long COVID or not, or long hauler COVID as they seem to call it in the States. And this test has got sort of very high accuracy, 95% accuracy, and if it tests positive, he can tell you that you've got long COVID and then come up with a plan of action to treat that particular case. So I found that an interesting segment of this video as well, but it's all worthwhile watching. So I'll leave links to both this one and the previous one in the comments section below as well. I've got a couple of more ones here for you to look at. This lady here, again I'll leave a link below. That's her name there, Joy Power, and she actually had COVID some weeks ago, fairly recently, and she said she started feeling horrible on a Monday, or she was diagnosed with it on Monday, and she had a little bit of a run around trying to get Ivermectin initially, but she managed to get some and take some by, I think from a doctor on the FLCCC sort of list. I think they've got a list of doctors that you can go to who will prescribe that drug, and she managed to get some by sort of Wednesday, sort of lunchtime. She took her first dose, and I think she only took about 3 doses, 2 or 3 doses, and by the Saturday she was feeling well enough again to start doing some chores around her home and garden. So an actual case of COVID-19 here, and how Ivermectin helped her. So I found her little account there very, very interesting. It's only a 7, nearly 8-minute video, so well worth a quick look. And finally, I came across this little channel here, Medical Update Online, and there's actually 5 of them. You can see them here, and it's discussions with Dr. Jackie Stone, who, if you remember, was in the first video, FLCCC video as well, one of the panellists there. But she's been interviewed kind of on her own in these series of videos. There's 5 of them all together. This is the 5th one, kind of just wrapping things up, and she was saying, this is quite interesting, this is in Zimbabwe, and this is the survival rate if you're hospitalised, hospital care, standard of care, and these are the number of people who survived, and these are the number of people who passed away, sadly. So the mortality rate is about 35% if you find yourself, unfortunately, in hospital with COVID. But with her practice, where she uses that drug along with various other treatments that she uses, the survival rate sort of shot right up to over 90%. I think she mentions a sort of a 10-fold factor in the sort of decrease of mortality. So in this video, so you can see, yeah, the orange there, very much reduced at any rate. So I just found that little series of videos really good. I'll just give you a link to this last one, and then you'll probably get the other ones coming up in your feed so you can watch it all the way through. But certainly the last one is worth viewing. So I'll leave a link in the description box and comments section below for that video as well. So there'll be sort of 4 links I'll be leaving. Check them all out. So that's just a little Ivermectin update for you today. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.